This is said to be there is said to be some major heat on the NXT champion Karrion Kross right now. However, the WWE are finding unique ways to punish him rather than putting losses on a future asset whose current undefeated record, I mean, that tells you when this was written, undefeated record is central to his gimmick and success. The issues came to the forefront when Kross called Adam Cole Little Man during their interaction several weeks back. Cole then proceeded to respond by burying the entire Kross gimmick, stating that he was nothing without the company behind him, the girl, and the entrance. As NXT used bullet point promos over full scripting. Now, what do I have to explain that?
No, they know what a bullet promo, I would hope. And if they don't, they could look it up.
Yeah. None of this was discussed before, and the end result saw Kross going off on Cole backstage. Now, people are going to take this as he tried to knock his head off. He didn't. He had a word, as we say in the UK. Since then, we've seen Kross sent to WWE main event along with Bronson Reed. Many reports on these trials and the fact that the WWE are looking to push both up on the main roster. However, there are many reports on these trials. However, people also noticed that Kross was working the show without his regular entrance and without his valet and real-life girlfriend, Scarlett. This has been by design as a way to show Kross that there was some validity to Cole's comments and that the company had full control over his push and that backstage bust-ups will not be tolerated. There seems to be, by the way, he hasn't lost to Jeff Hardy yet. So this is looking like a pretty good story. Cal will come back in a second. There seems to be, he's heard it anyway, there seems to be some general long-term heat on Kross, which centers around Scarlett Bordeaux. Let me let him back in. According to our sources, a lot of males on the NXT roster have crossed paths with Scarlett in other organizations, with speculation suggesting that some got to know her very personally on the independent circuit. And I put in brackets, Seth Rollins is one heavily mentioned name.
I never knew that Rollins was there. I know he was with that tattooed chick that was all tatted out and then him getting busted and all that kind of stuff. Didn't know Scarlett. That's a good...
well, he was on the independents for ages before that. I mean, I don't know how old she is. That would be good, worth looking up. This is certainly something that seems to bother Kross, who is said to be very protective of his girlfriend, especially as he is seemingly unaware of exactly how well certain wrestlers know his current girlfriend. I put a joke in brackets here, but I don't even want to read it because people take it too seriously. The atmosphere around other wrestlers and Kross is described as frosty rather than confrontational. This is another word that I don't think people mean. Frosty's kind of like short, to the point, like not very conversational. But also,
she's 29.
29.
And she's from Chicago. How about that?
Yeah, so I don't think her and Rollins would have crossed paths in the Indies. I think he would have just known her from being in the Indies while he's doing his... So he would have been like, hey, you want to... I'm in the WWE. You want to go out to get some food?
My code word for... Okay.
That's the way I used like Big Brother for years. Hey, I was in Big Brother. I want to get some weed. or to go back to my hotel. We are continuing to see wrestlers take digs at Kross on screen, such as Johnny Gargano referring to Kross as untalented. Jeez. There is no doubt that upper management are encouraging these comments to test Kross. The WWE currently have big plans for the character. However, Vince McMahon is said to be reluctant to strap the rocket to a 35-year-old with a questionable attitude. How do you question someone's attitude? You take away stuff that adds to their presentation, and you make him lose to Jeff Hardy, and you see what he does. This is a 100% nailed on correct story. Anybody that's in here saying that there's any way this isn't, I don't care what Disco says. I don't care what Conan says. I don't care what your mum says, dad says. I don't care what Meltzer says. I don't give a what anybody says, because weeks after this story, this guy lost to Jeff Hardy. That's it. That's all I needed to see. So, bye-bye. That's the end of that. I'm never going to talk about that again.
It's unbelievable.